Korea separated at the end of the Second World War, and when was the unification?
Until 1945, Korea had been ruled by Japan, but at the end of the war, North Korea was liberated by Soviets and remained a communist government. Instead, South Korea was liberated by Americans and became anti-communist. There was an hostility between the two leaders, and in 1950 spilled in a civil war, and at September of the same year also South Korea was communist.
What did the US president want to do?
He was determined to contain communism in different ways. Truman sent advisors, suppliers and warships to seize around Korea. USA would do anything to stop the spread of communism except a war, although the president was aware that if it took military action, it would be more conspicuous in the eyes of the rest of the world if it had the support of other countries, especially the support of the United Nations.
During the Cold War, the USSR was boycotting the United Nations at this time, and when the resolution was passed, the USSR wasn't at the meeting, so could not use its veto. And Truman claimed that this was an United Nations sponsored operation, and the United Nations committed itself to using its member armies to drive North Korean troops and out of South Korea.
How did the war develop?
In September 1950, some UN forces stormed ashore at Incheon, and at the same time, other forces and South Korea troops advanced from Busan, so the North Koreans were driven back beyond the original border. And in October 1950, US forces had reached the Yalu River and the border with China. As the UN forces advanced and secured their positions, Truman and MacArthur saw an opportunity to remove communists from Korea. In November 1950, MacArthur underestimated the power of the Chinese, whose troops joined the North Koreans, and they launched an attack. The UN forces were pushed back into South Korea. But in June 1951, the fighting reached a stalemate and peace talks between North and South Korea began, although fighting continued for another 2 years. In July 1953, an armistice was signed and the border between North and South Korea was the same as it had been before was started.
Was the Korean War a success for the USA?
The Korean War was partly a success for the USA, as it proved to keep South Korea free of communism. But however, the war revealed the difficulty of this policy. In fact, North Korea remained communist, and this war also exposed divisions between between American leaders, and these internal tensions influenced the USA foreign policy. Furthermore, North Korea became a dictatorship and a nuclear theft for the USA.
How did America try to resist communism?
First, the USA formed anti-communist alliance like SEATO in Southeast Asia and Centro in the Central Asia and the Middle East, proving support to allies who, in return, fought communists in their own countries. The USSR viewed these actions as threatening and accused the USA of trying to surround the communist world. In response, the USSR created the Warsaw Pact in 1955, which included most communist Eastern European countries except Yugoslavia. Second, after the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the USA saw atomic weapons as key to future military power and a way to contain communism. The USSR recognized these two, leading to an arms race to build and position increasingly powerful nuclear weapons and to place them where they could best threaten their enemies.
Say no to war!